Weimar, a small town in Germany, home of famous artists, scientists, and writers. Buchenwald, a concentration camp in Germany, home to persecuted Jewish men, women, and children, and only 15 minutes from Weimar. Visit to Weimar by Ernesto Cardinal. We were passing through Weimar, and naturally we visited Goethe's house. There were his paintings, a Lucas Chronic, an Italian primitive, and his own delicate drawing of his handsome wife asleep in the garden. The piano where young Mendelssohn played. The study where he wrote Faust. This was the intellectual capital of Germany. It was here that young Heine boasted he too was writing his Faust. And the richness of Weimar's plums. And just 15 minutes away, through the woods, we started down a bloody highway, the prisoners themselves paved with stones. It ends at desolate railway platforms, where hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trains arrive. Great bronze doors open toward us, and above, florid grillwork with huge letters, and that can only be read from inside once the doors are closed. Unto each what he deserves. Like above the entrance to Dante's Inferno. This is the entrance to Buchenwald. Pins within pins within pins within electrified pens. The monstrous watchtowers, and we saw the red brick crematoriums. The special cells for those who resisted where, before dying, heroes screamed to the whole camp from a small pit covered by graves that they should never surrender. This was truly another city, with as many inhabitants as Weimar. The walking skeletons, the staggering gait, the terrified stare that sees nothing. Everything in good order. The name of each one who is to arrive sent in advance to the camp, with a copy to the Central Directory of Concentration Camps, CC, to the Gestapo, etc. The address runs to the aforementioned. Enclosed, please find, in duplicate, for the necessary ends, the list of those unable to vote. Signed, Buchenwald Camp Doctor. All around, hillocks of the dead. The gray building, several stories high, where they gave up their clothes. Girls in fine dresses emerged wearing a blue and white striped uniform, a number tattooed on their left arm. Many of them to die of pure sadness. Human skin made good parchment for poems, romantic ones, for binding books, for lampshades. They shrank the heads of Jews for souvenirs, and doctors performed all kinds of experiments on living bodies. 18-hour workdays in December in snow and wind, wearing only a thin jacket, and many threw themselves against the electrified wire to die. The children corralled separately, their pin inside more pins. Beside them, a tiny pin of bear cubs, and the children loving them. And when the children cried out in hunger, the guards gave milk to the bears so the children could watch. And the children crying, screaming. Searchlights turning in the fog, searching for a fugitive. And police dogs barking up a storm in their pens. And the echo. You could tell if bodies were being burned in the ovens by whether the smoke was black or white. And also by the delicious aroma of roasted meat. We saw the apparatus used to measure the prisoner's height. And behind it, the tiny window that opened to reveal a hand with a pistol aimed at the neck. Earlier, a doctor examined their teeth looking for gold. It took them a while to discover the cadavers were valuable. Hair, gold fillings, lard, skin for artistic purposes. Capitalism gone berserk. Enclosed, please find 4.5 pounds human hair in ringlets and braids. Death trains arriving one after the other at the platforms. And in Weimar, no one knew anything. All they saw was a forbidden area and a parade of trains. But they became suspicious when a military truck crashed in the middle of town, spilling heaps of bodies onto the street. These were the woods where Goethe used to walk. Nearby, the oak tree under which he sat reading, which the Nazis took very good care of.
Oh, the life of a teenager. High school, your driver's license, first date, prom, and even graduation.
Oh, the life of a teenager. Peer pressure, drug and alcohol abuse, and sex.
And Stuff by Peter D. Deanna, hi, it's Sandy.
Sandy Allen,
Yeah, what are you doing up here?
smoking a cigarette.
Can I have one?
Stay where you are.
So, how is New York City?
Full of pigs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you do to your hair?
Combination of Black Flag and rape.
We were talking about you the other day in counseling.
I came up here to be alone, Sandy.
You look it.
Things don't look so dirty from up here. The lights, they look so pure. And there's no mirrors. I hate mirrors.
You sure
Stay where you are!
I'm not moving.
I mean it.
I said I'm not moving.
Okay.
You heard Mr. Madison said the other day in counseling? He said that teenagers were the natural resources of the world. He says that everybody else is talking about computers and aerobics and solar energy and nuclear power and investments and stuff, that they're all missing the boat.
He always liked that phrase. Missing the boat.
Yeah, he says that we're the country's greatest natural resource. That's why we can't let our minds be corrupted. He says if you poison a natural resource, there's no hope for the future.
And his mind's messed up. Deanna, he's a man. It's not his fault. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Can I please have a cigarette? I have matches.
There's a machine down the dregs. Go buy yourself your own hat. I made that in the Big Apple. You get paid for it there. Men don't get it for free like our fathers do. Of course, you gotta find someone to negotiate with. But they're not hard to find. They really have their eyes out for that natural resources and stuff. I had my choice of 2 pimps before I got off the bus.
Is that how you've been living since you left?
Why not? Anything wrong with making a few slobs smile? No, you shouldn't smoke. It's a bad habit. You know the one thing I can't seem to achieve on that goals list? That healing goals list for the sexually abused child?
Yeah, which one are you having troubles with? Positive self-image.
Counseling. God, sometimes I just wish I could turn my body inside out and scrape it clean of all the filth and stuff. That way I could just, I don't know, start over.
Yeah, I think that's why Debbie Carson swallowed the Drano.
What?
Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
How is she?
Dead. She was just going to start counseling, too.
Geez, some natural resource.
It was the first time I ever saw Mr. Madison cry.
She was so pretty.
Like you. Like me. We're all pretty.
Not me. I never was.
Yeah, that's not true.
My father. He's the one who used to call me pretty, bouncing me on his knee, and the whole time he was after. Well, he's not the only one who's had me now. I'd like to throw that in his teeth. But I haven't spoken to him in over 2 years, and I never will, because I hate him. I hate him with all my heart and soul.
So, the big city. You're the first person I know who's been to the big city. I finished counseling last week. Did you know they made me go to counseling? I didn't want to go. My dad got probation, and I got counseling. Didn't seem fair to me, but I had to go. I was 11 and a half when my dad started giving me really sloppy kisses. Totally gross out. And then I began to wake up at night, hiding in my room, touching me. I told him to get out. So many nights I tried to keep from falling asleep. With a barricade of an old Afghan my grandmother made me, 2 teddy bears, and ragneans and stuff to protect me. Like the Great Wall of China, you know? But I couldn't stay awake forever. Then I remember I woke up one morning. It was a sunny morning. And I remember the color of my pool was so bright. But when I touched it, there was a slash in it. My bathroom was crooked. So were my pajamas. The night before, I'd found him in my room again. I told him to get out. But before he disappeared to the doorway, he blew me a kiss. I was hoping my mom would ask how everything got cut up, but she never noticed. Can I have another cigarette? How long did it go on? Too long. How long? A long time, with miserable birthdays in between. Always being so tired because I never slept well.
Did you go to school sick too? Just so you wouldn't have to be home in case he came?
Yeah.
What finally happened?
Well, one night it finally exploded. I woke up and there he was again. So big and ugly in the dark. I went hysterical. I couldn't stop screaming. It was the first time I yelled in 4 years. I'd always been trying to handle it logically up to then. With silence and stuff. Yeah. Well, after I screamed, the rest of the family couldn't help but find out. Still, my dad said he'd never laid a hand on me. Eventually, it all led to the police station. I told the facts to the lieutenant. They charged my father, but they set him free. Later, he came to me. He said he never actually believed that I'd lied for him. But he did. Sandy, honey. He knew that I loved him. And that it was impossible for me to ask anybody for help. And even if I did, nothing would happen to him because of his respectable position in the town. I don't have any love for my father now. No respect. And that's wrong. That's no way to grow up. I hate hating my father. And I don't want to hate men and stuff. I don't want to hate anybody. But you see, Deanna, every time I fall down, I get back up. Every time I get knocked down, I don't stay down. I couldn't quit even if I wanted to. I'm a survivor. And survivors survive. They've asked me to come back to counseling and help the other girls. I'm sure I will. I'm sure you will too. You better. Some stars have come home. They're beautiful.
You know what I was gonna do? After I finished that cigarette you found me smoking? Jump. I figured I couldn't look any more smashed up on those rocks down there than I do now.
I'm glad I saw you get off that bus.
Yeah. But I came up here to settle something. So could you leave me alone? Don't worry, I won't do anything dramatic. Debbie Carson took care of that. Can't have a boring repeat. Besides, you pay attention. So, fine. You want a cigarette for the road?
No, I'll be at the drags. You can spend the night at my house if you want to. There's plenty of room. Don't worry, my father's moved out.
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, do you remember that joke you made up in counseling?
It's such a stupid one.
Let's say it again.
Fine. What do you call a family affair?
That's the one. And the punchline?
Incest.
Right.
Sometimes none of this seems real.
I know. What it is?
Well, I'll see you
soon.